This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Good morning to you. 7 o'clock right now on this Tuesday. Take the allergy medication if you have allergies, especially if you're allergic to ragweed.
Yeah, September is such a time for fall allergies. That's actually when I had my allergic reaction that almost killed me. So I make sure that I take my allergy medicine every single day. Ragweed is what gets me.
Yeah, and here's the thing with it is we're getting the summer-like temperatures as the ragweed's becoming more of an issue because, you know, somebody asked for warmer weather and they're getting it. So here we are. We're dealing with right now those temperatures in the 40s and the low 50s. So pretty comfortable as you're heading out this morning. We're enjoying that lower humidity. Also getting to see beautiful sunrises like these showing up on many of our SkyTrack cameras out there with the crisp, clear skies also showing up on our satellite and radar. So throughout the day, yes, we're going to keep the sunshine around, adding in a few clouds for later on this afternoon, but mainly about the sunshine as we climb into the upper 70s and low 80s for your afternoon highs. Now looking ahead, today is that last day of the cooler temperatures because by the time we reach tomorrow afternoon, we're talking mid 80s for highs in most spots, upper 80s as we head into your Thursday and Friday. And then we see that summer heat really trying to show up once we get into the upcoming weekend. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. A beautiful morning out there and beautiful in the skies, but not so beautiful in some of our major roadways. We're talking about the split at 64 and 264, major backup out there. No reports of any type of a crash. We're told it's just a massive construction project that's slowing down some commuters. Of course, you're seeing wall-to-wall traffic out there. It's going to be like that, of course, throughout the morning commute. So if you're heading out through that area, I wish I had a little bit better news for you, but otherwise just pack your patience. Over to you.
Thank you. Okay, we've been following incidents of violence in our community and how it impacts young people. According to Louisville's gun violence dashboard, there have been more than 260 violent incidents reported so far this year.
We're also continuing to watch how people in our community are trying to fight back and make a change. Two Metro Council members want to keep that discussion going to find solutions in their districts. Tammy Hawkins and Ken Herndon hosted a meeting at Central High School last night. Leaders made a promise to curb recent violence. These talks were partially inspired after a young mother, Rhodesia Williams, was shot and killed while walking her child to the bus stop at 10th and Chestnut Streets last month. Neighbors and the council members say they're focused on taking the best ideas to enact meaningful change.
Very often folks out and about feel that they're not being listened to. They think that decisions are made before they have a chance to speak. They say that sometimes public forums are just window dressing for other decisions already made. And we want to have these two forums allow people to say what they want and what they think that we need to do to solve the problems that affect all of us.
Metro leaders say they hope to get the community directly involved in the change.
According to Louisville's gun violence dashboard, in 2025 so far, more than 16% of all victims of gun violence were under 18. Many others end up as the suspects. Councilman Herndon says he is planning to talk about a possible resolution this morning. He says it will involve detailing gun safety measures and pushing for local control to regulate firearms. That briefing is expected at 11 a.m. by the corner of 10th and Chestnut near Western Library.
Cracking down on crime while brainstorming about potential solutions. It's part of a community-wide initiative to stop lives being lost to violence.
Tonight, neighbors and leaders will meet in the Parkland neighborhood for a public forum to share thoughts and concerns. And let's go back to Rob with details on this meeting. Rob?
And Shannon, it's part of the Community Covenant Connection First Neighborhood Watch public meeting. Organizers telling me that the open forum will focus on the Park Duval and Parkland neighborhoods, which they say have seen way too much violence. The goal they add is to attract as many residents, business owners, youth advocates, and faith-based leaders to get their input on returning a sense of peace and pride. They say that they feel it starts with watchful eyes and keen observation on every single street. The Metro Gun Violence Dashboard shows us that there's been 4 homicides and 5 non-deadly shootings in the Parkland neighborhood since the beginning of this year. Neighbors say it's those statistics that have them most concerned.
So what we want to do is we want to reintroduce norms. Those norms we want to introduce is so people, grandparents, grandmothers and grandfathers can walk through the neighborhood safely. Kids are able to speak to kids in the playground without there being any sort of shootings or fights or any sort of violent crimes happening. And so we really are going to implement the see something, say something, do something. And so that's the part that we're getting to, is the see and the do something.
That meeting begins tonight at 6:30 at the Parkland Community Library. That's located at 2743 Virginia Avenue. And while the meeting focuses on Parkland, organizers say that people from all different communities who want to share their thoughts and concerns are certainly welcome. Shannon?
Thank you, Rob. A 5-year-old Louisville boy has died, and police have now charged his father with killing him. And now that child's mother and grandmother hope justice is served. Police say 24-year-old LaRon Gardner called paramedics in late August, claiming Elias Rain fell down the stairs. But first responders said Rain's injuries did not match what Gardner told them. And arrest records confirm police did not believe Gardner. Instead, officers say Gardner attacked the child and pushed him down the stairs. Eli's mom, in talking about her sweet and happy boy, says she believes that Eli stood up to his father after seeing him kick his 4-year-old sister.
There's no reason it should have happened in the first place, but there's literally no reason that Eli could have ever made anybody that mad.
No, it didn't happen. He didn't. He didn't. He made you smile. That kid could walk in a room and make everybody smile.
And he was so funny.
Gardner is charged with murder, criminal abuse of a child, and assault. He's expected back in court September 15th.
Investigations are underway after Metro Codes and Regulations tried to demolish a home they deemed a hazard, but the project ended up sending a woman to the hospital and damaging 2 neighboring houses. A department official says the original home at 2332 Magazine Street was set for demolition at 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Investigators say during the project, though, a wall fell and hit the home next to it, knocking it off its foundation. Now the second home will need to be torn down as well, and the woman who lived there will be displaced. She was also taken to the hospital. Metro Codes and Regs says the home being demolished was a safety hazard and was crumbling. That official also told us during the work the property 2 houses over was also damaged because a fence pole went through it. The Louisville Fire arson team says an argument sparked a deadly house fire.
It happened in the Hollyville neighborhood over the weekend. The Jefferson County Coroner's Office identified the man who died as 38-year-old Matthew Hodge of Cox's Creek. Authorities say Hodge and an unnamed woman were arguing Sunday when Hodge set fire to the house on June Drive and prevented the woman from leaving. Hodge died at the house. The woman is still getting care at University of Louisville Hospital. Louisville arson investigators say neither Hodge nor the woman hurt were the homeowners.
One of the 3 men convicted for his role in Crystal Rogers' disappearance and death will get to use his original attorneys to appeal his ruling and punishment. Back in July, a Warren County jury found Joseph Lawson guilty. They recommended he receive 20 years for conspiracy and 5 years on tampering consecutively after jurors agreed he was involved in moving Rogers' Chevy Impala, which was found on the Bluegrass Parkway. New court documents show the judge granted Lawson the right to continue to be represented by his public defender. Lawson's sentencing hearing is set for September 17th.
Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg is set to discuss some topics in today's briefing. His office says that he'll discuss 7 County Services' 50th anniversary. They provide addiction treatment services in the city. He'll also talk about Bourbon and Beyond, which starts on Thursday, the city's independent monitor process, and an update on suicide prevention work. This morning's briefing will be at 10 a.m. September is Suicide Prevention Month. It's a chance for people around the world to reach out to people who may be struggling and help end the stigma associated with getting help. In addition to that, many people work towards raising funding towards suicide prevention. That's what 2 Kentucky women are doing. Angela Weiss, a mother who lost both of her sons to suicide, is helping other families by providing them with resources and a community of people to talk with. And Erica Lawson survived her own suicide attempt, and now she's using that as a reason to create a nonprofit to help others who may be struggling.
To be able to have the resources and to be able to talk to somebody about it and to get the help that you need on the spot and for your family to get help. To me, that is what is so important about this.
I think that's why I survived, because to show other people, there's a purpose, with everything that we go through, even the painful sides of life.
You can find more information about both of their nonprofits called Brothers Run and Pain with a Purpose on Facebook. And if you or someone you know is struggling, the suicide hotline is open 24 hours a day. Someone can just call 988. New files related to Jeffrey Epstein have been handed over to Congress.
We'll tell you what we know about the letters written to Epstein by political leaders in both parties. The House Oversight Committee has received its first batch of documents from the estate of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. A lawyer for the estate confirmed the handover includes a collection of letters given to him for his 50th birthday. One of those notes was reportedly written and signed by President Donald Trump. President Trump has denied signing the letter and is suing the Wall Street Journal, who first reported the existence of it. The lawsuit claims the report is false and defamatory. The collection of birthday letters also includes the names of some other prominent figures like former President Bill Clinton.
Some protesters are going directly to Indiana lawmakers to try to prevent ICE from using a National Guard base to hold immigrant detainees. Protesters held a demonstration outside of U.S. Representative Jefferson Shreve's office in Greenwood. They say they don't want tax dollars to be used to hold undocumented immigrants at Camp Atterbury. The Indiana National Guard operates out of the base that is just south of Indianapolis. Protesters say the money used by ICE can make a difference somewhere else.
We want to see that money used to address the housing crisis in our community, to address homelessness, to address the fact that people can't afford their rent.
Earlier this year, a spokesperson for the Indiana National Guard issued a statement saying Camp Atterbury can be used at the federal government's discretion.
Well, this week we have a busy week. Bourbon and Beyond starting on Thursday. So a lot of people coming into town, and they're about to find out what the Ohio Valley really feels like with that heat, humidity, and the allergies.
Yeah, it's going to be lovely, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend who's coming in. I haven't seen her in 30 years.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I
nice
know.
for you.
So I want to see her on Friday morning. I'm excited.
Oh, so that means we need some good weather for that.
Right.
And hopefully, and it does look like the weather is going to hold out as we head into the weekend. High pressure still in control of our forecast as of right now. Watching some strong storms trying to move towards the Kansas City area. But for us right now, it's all just about the clear skies that we're dealing with in our region. And that's backed up by what we're seeing on our SkyTrack camera in Simpsonville. Some upper level clouds overhead. But hey, beautiful morning out there. Your temperatures are in the 40s and low 50s this morning. 55 at the airport in Louisville, 50 for those of you in Mumfordville, E-Town, and into Campbellsville. Same thing for those of you in Bardstown. 46 though in North Vernon, Bedford, all the way towards Litchfield and Hardinsburg too. So everyone is getting in on the cool temperatures, including in the metro, where we're now down to 58 here at Wave News, 50 in New Albany, 51 for those of you in St. Matthews. Over the next 12 hours, we will return to the upper 70s and low 80s for your highs. skies, plenty of sunshine, keeping that humidity low. Now, once we get into tonight, we are still going to see mainly clear skies, returning to the 50s for lows in most spots. So it doesn't look like we'll see as many of those 40s showing up for tomorrow morning. Getting into your Wednesday afternoon, high is going to be back into the mid 80s for most of us. Then on Thursday, as Bourbon and Beyond begins, we'll see those temperatures jumping back into the upper 80s for highs. A little bit warmer on Friday, and we keep that warming trend throughout the entire weekend with some low 90s showing up for Saturday and Sunday. Thankfully, in terms of any rain chances, those are going to stay low throughout Bourbon and Beyond. Now, as we get into next week, we're going to see even warmer temperatures trying to show up in the forecast. As of right now, we're watching upper 80s and low 90s for highs. Now, there is a chance for some small rain chances towards next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with the front moving towards us, but the modeling not quite agreeing on how far into our region that front will go. So don't be surprised if you see highs or rain chances changing towards the middle of next week. Shannon.
Thank you so much. Okay, so speaking of Bourbon and Beyond, which starts this Thursday, there's one of a well-known neighborhood that's really getting into the spirit.
Once again, Nulu hosting the Bourbon Brunch and Bluegrass pregame party. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote is live in Nulu this morning with a preview. What are you getting into now, Kirsten?
Hey guys, well, you know, we've covered the bourbon part. We had our bourbon barrels earlier. We covered the brunch part with all the brunch and drink specials going on. But we got to have some bluegrass too, and it wouldn't be bluegrass without a bluegrass band. And I'm here with Max Bishop, and he's with the Louisville Bluegrass Band, and then Mark here as well. You guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And you guys are going to be performing on both Saturdays of the event. And just what can people expect?
Well, you can expect some hard-hitting, fast-paced bluegrass. That's what you can expect. You know, it's a big part of our community here, and it's definitely a big part of, valuable part of our culture here. So we're excited to bring that for you all, and hopefully recreate some of those sounds from the past, because it's kind of an older style music.
Absolutely, but it's a great style of music, and you guys actually got to perform with Bourbon and Beyond last year too. So I mean, this is just, you know, kind of another fun thing to get to do.
We did, and I'll actually just be a regular attendee this year, so I'm looking forward to that.
Heck yeah! But on Saturday, next Saturday, y'all are going to be performing. Can you give us a little bit of a taste of what that's going to be like?
All right.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Okay, so this event is going on from 11 to 3 this Saturday and next Saturday for Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life. And get a taste of that. You're going to love it. Be sure to check it out here in Nulu. Shannon and Olivia, back to you guys.
That sounded great.
I was dancing over here, too.
Yeah, thank you. Well, a fan banned from all stadiums after what he did to Lamar Jackson.
You'll see how the former U of L quarterback is responding. A wild moment in the Bills-Ravens game has led to a fan being banned from all 32 NFL stadiums. Take a look at this video. After the Ravens scored a touchdown late in the third quarter, a Bills fan smacked some of the Ravens players on their helmets as they walked by. It prompted former guard Lamar Jackson to push the fan back. The former U of L quarterback said he should have let security handle it, and hopefully it won't happen again. And it definitely won't with this fan, because that fan's now been banned from the Bills Stadium and all NFL stadiums indefinitely.
Racing returns to Churchill Downs this Thursday for the 13th annual September meet. Racing will start at 5 p.m. Thursday with 8 races scheduled. Opening day doubles as First Responders Day as Churchill Downs salutes the service of firefighters, police officers, EMTs, paramedics, and emergency dispatchers. The September meet runs through the 28th. You can find the details on wave3.com.
Powerball fever cooling off a bit now after Saturday night's drawing yielded 2 jackpot-winning tickets. One of those was in Texas, the other in Missouri, not here in Kentucky for the big jackpot, though.
$1.8 billion. But you may want to double-check your tickets because 3 winners were drawn in Kentucky. A $100,000 ticket bought at a cash stop in
Louisa, Kentucky.
Louisa, Kentucky. A $50,000 winner was bought at M&S Food Mart on Bluegrass Parkway in Louisville, and a $50,000 ticket was bought online. All 3 tickets matched 4 white ball numbers and the Powerball, and the one bought in Louisa had Power Play on it, so that doubles the winnings. Winning ticket holders have 180 days from the drawing to claim their prize at lottery headquarters.
And I won $7. Not a jackpot, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Tickets are on sale right now for a charity bourbon raffle hosted by Kentucky nonprofit Bourbon with Heart.
The raffle features 10 prize packages that include a hand-painted barrelhead and a bottle of Michter's 10-year single-barrel Kentucky straight bourbon. Tickets will be on sale until next Wednesday, with all proceeds supporting Bourbon with Heart's mission. The raffle showcases the Kentucky Bourbon Festival art exhibit, which features 10 bourbon barrelheads, each hand-painted by a local artist. Each ticket will count as a vote for the purchaser's favorite of the 10 featured pieces in the exhibit. The artist with the most votes will receive $500, along with an additional $500 awarded to a nonprofit of their choice. Tickets are $10.
If you're already looking ahead to the weekend, the Algonquin Park Jazz Festival returns this Saturday. Wave's very own Don G will be the co-host this year. It's happening from noon to 7 p.m. in Algonquin Park, and it's free. The festival features jazz and gospel music, plus line dancing, and so much more. This is the festival's 2nd year, and Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins says it will be bigger and better than last year.
And Michael Jackson fans, a show coming to Louisville, maybe one that you want to check out. It's MJ the Musical. It opens the 2025-26 season for PNC Broadway in Louisville. It explores the creative process of Michael Jackson, focusing on the development of his Dangerous World Tour. The first show premieres tonight, and then they have a show every night until Sunday. I'm seeing it tonight. I'm so excited.
Oh, you'll have to let me know how it is.
I know.
Happening today, the Girl Scouts of Kentucky will bring us a very important announcement. It's about the cookies. This morning at 10:30, they'll be at Camp Shanatuck to unveil a delicious new addition to their Girl Scout cookie roster. Following the brief presentation, Girl Scouts will be able to showcase the fun activities they explore at camp, and you can also sign up to be a volunteer for the Fall Product Program. Volunteers get early access to all that is offered. I can't wait to see those cookies. And I also went to Camp Shanatuck when I was a kid, and it was so much fun. I loved it. I was a little Girl Scout, and I ate all the cookies, of course.
Thin Mint's the best.
Dressed like one today.
Yeah, you actually are. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, but I'm excited for the new cookie. They always put out good stuff.
Yes. We'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. Today, Louisville City leaders are expected to take action to reduce gun violence in the city. Metro Councilman Ken Herndon says he's ready to introduce a resolution this morning. He says it will focus on advancing common sense gun safety measures. Herndon will introduce the legislation at 10th and Chestnut at 11 a.m. Last month, a mother, Rhodesia Williams, was shot and killed while walking her child to the bus stop at that intersection. Let's go to Tawana right now, as you may need a light jacket this morning.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of those cooler temperatures, but we're also seeing plenty of sunshine showing up. This is the view of the sunrise right now for those of you in Simpsonville. Notice a couple of those upper level clouds overhead. We'll watch for those drifting by as we continue throughout the morning, adding in a few extra clouds for later on this afternoon. Of course, we're cool out there, 45 degrees right now in Lebanon, seeing 50 degrees in LaGrange, 46 in the Paoli, 55 at the airport in Louisville. Across the metro, we're seeing a mixture of those upper 40s and low 50s this morning. As we head over the next 12 hours, we will return to the upper 70s and low 80s for afternoon highs, keeping all of that sunshine in our forecast. Looking ahead to the next 10 days, it's all about that warming trend with some low 90s trying to return to the forecast over the weekend. And it looks like they could stick around at least through the first half of next week. So we'll see how things go. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. Things warming up this week and also warming up on the roadways this morning as folks get out and about. Still keeping our eye on a slowdown from earlier at 64 and 264 the split. Certainly a lot better than it was about 20 minutes ago. Keeping our eye now on 264 east approaching Crittenden. Reports of a two-car crash in that area. So if you're going through there, certainly give first responders time to do their job. Have a great morning.
Good morning and happy Tuesday to you. Hope you're having a great Tuesday morning, getting that coffee and catching up on all of your headlines. We have quite a few things to talk about today, including a moment that has just blown up online. It's something that Shannon won't stop talking about, some drama over a Phillies home run ball. Plus, we have a report of ticket fraud for a showing of Wicked here in Kentucky. But first, we want to talk to you about LG&E. They want to raise some usage rates again, and some customers say they're frustrated by the thought they have to keep paying more. Kentucky's Public Service Commission sat down to get feedback on a proposal LG&E says will actually benefit those payers. It would be the first rate increase since 2020. Wave News reporter Logan Perone has much more on how much it could cost you.
Keeping the lights on, the AC running, and your favorite electronics charged. All things taken for granted until it's time to pay the bill. For LG&E and KU customers, the cost could soon go up.
This is the first time we've filed a request of this kind in 5 years. And over that time, we are committed to holding down costs as much as possible.
Liz Pratt with LG&E says an application to increase rates allows the company to do a number of things: improve aging infrastructure, make the system more weather resistant, upgrade technology, and improve safety.
We still have room to grow. We still have investments that we need to make. So this is not a decision that we make lightly.
Here's how the new rates could look like on your bill. The average LG&E customer would see an average monthly increase of around $11 for electric and another $11 if you have gas service. If you have KU, the average bill increase will be a little more than $18. Kentucky's Public Service Commission is accepting feedback on the proposal and hosting 4 public meetings. Several people spoke out against the increase Monday night, citing the impact to the everyday ratepayer.
For a low-income person, it's a considerable impact to their total budget.
I would ask you, please, to do everything you can to keep the rates as low as possible for the folks who are really impacted.
Back in mid-July, a similar but separate meeting was held for a separate request by LG&E that would allow for the operation of 2 new power generating units supporting data centers. In the latest application to increase rates, general concerns on large energy consumers like data centers are actually addressed. A new rate increase for the largest customers would require them to sign 15-year contracts and commit to paying at least 80% of the power they reserve.
And so what that does is, as regulated utilities, ensuring that all customers, including data centers, pay for their fair share of the system.
New rates, if approved, would not make their way onto ratepayers' bills until 2026.
And discussing what Logan just said there, the good news, though, is that a rate increase would not be able to go into effect until January 1st at the earliest. And there will be public meetings in Middlesboro, Madisonville, and Lexington. Plus, you can give feedback through emailing them. We have that email address on this story on wave3.com. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is answering more questions about his political future. Beshear will be term limited in 2028, meaning he will not be able to be reelected as governor again. But Beshear's name has been floated as a potential Democratic presidential candidate. Here's what he told CNN when he was asked about a presidential campaign last night.
So, this year, trying to do what I can to be a reasonable voice. Next year, head of the Democratic Governors Association. We're going to win in a lot of places and change the map. After that, I'm going to sit down, and if my family thinks that I'm somebody that can help heal this country, I'll consider it. But if there's somebody else, I'll be for them, because at the end of the day, I care more about the United States than any title that I could have.
Governor Beshear will chair the Democratic Governors Association in the 2026 midterm elections. His role includes overseeing 36 gubernatorial races across the nation. We're hearing from Kentucky State Senator Jimmy Higdon as he prepares to step away from public office. The Republican lawmaker chairs the state Senate Transportation Committee. He recently confirmed he'll be retiring at the end of his current term. Higdon first joined the legislature in 2003 as a representative before joining the Senate in 2009. During his time in Frankfort, Higdon helped secure major infrastructure investments, including projects on Interstate 75.
I've always believed that true leadership, you know when to go home, you know when to pass the torch. And I think that time has come. And I'll go out at the top of my game and, spend time with family.
Higdon added that once he tends to unfinished business in his remaining months in office, he looks forward to spending time with his family. A Kentucky education advocacy group is calling on lawmakers to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into public education. Protect Our Schools Kentucky is urging lawmakers to direct $718 million towards public schools during the budget session for the 2026 General Assembly. The group is a statewide coalition made up of educators, administrators, parents, and students. They say the multi-million-dollar proposal is a little more than 3% of Kentucky's total budget and could have a huge impact on students in the Commonwealth.
A child's future shouldn't depend on the tax base of their county or the wealth of their neighborhood. Every Kentucky student deserves the same shot at success, no matter where they live.
One Kentucky superintendent says the multi-million-dollar idea could fully fund school transportation for the first time in 20 years and restore classroom resources like textbooks and technology. Today is Hunger Action Day, a nationwide campaign led by Feeding America and Feeding Kentucky to spread awareness of hunger in our communities. WKYT's Amber Philpott sat down with the president and CEO of God's Pantry Food Bank, who says there's a big concern right now.
It's worse than it's ever been. Right now, we are seeing 18.2%. That's 280,000 people. That's 1 in 5 Kentuckians in central and eastern Kentucky, and it's 1 in 4 children.
Inside this 127,000 square foot facility for God's Pantry Food Bank, Michael Halligan is tasked with trying to move food in, but quickly move food out.
It's not about storing it in this warehouse. It's only about 3 weeks of food that you see behind me. It's about getting it onto somebody's table who needs it as fast and efficiently as we can.
19 of the most food insecure counties in the country are in the God's Pantry Food Bank service area. Halligan and his team are well aware that anyone at any time could find themselves in need.
There's always been a stigma tied to food insecurity, and there's always been a resistance by someone who's experiencing hunger to admit that they need help.
He spends a lot of time listening to the hardships that put someone in a position to have to choose between paying the bills or putting food on the table. Changing that stigma of asking for help is just as important to Halligan as distributing food.
The more we learn about the circumstances that they face, the more respectful we can be at providing the services of a basic meal on someone's table.
Providing those meals is more expensive than ever. God's Pantry Food Bank purchases about 15% of its food. Last year, they spent $7 million.
Before the pandemic, it was 1.5. We're literally spending 3 to 4 times what we were spending on purchasing food today.
Along with purchasing food, God's Pantry Food Bank relies on donations, both in the form of goods and money to help support the 500 partner food pantries they serve.
So for $1, we can gather and distribute enough food to create 6 meals for $1. It's amazing.
Since 1955, this organization has helped fight hunger in Kentucky, and 70 years later, they are still fighting.
Helping people understand hunger is real, hunger exists, it can affect anyone at any time, and advocating for awareness and for taking action. That's what Hunger Action Month's all about.
And organizers of Hunger Action Month say the best way to help out is by simply reaching out to your local food bank. And they also encourage people to wear orange in support of ending food insecurity. Today, I wish I would have known that before I got dressed this morning. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more of a troubleshooter investigation when we come back. Thanks for staying with us here for Sunrise Extra. Well, a Nigerian man, the Broadway show Wicked, and the Kentucky Performing Arts, not the start of a bad joke, but actually the start of a federal court case. Wave News troubleshooter Mark Stevens shows us how they're all connected.
In any good play, a villain is undone by a weakness. The weakness in our story appears to be a phone number. That's how FBI Louisville's cyber squad arrested a Nigerian man with an Irish passport as he entered the country in August. Prosecutors charged Ajibola Oduntan with wire fraud for ripping off the Kentucky Performing Arts Center for $100,000. In their detailed criminal complaint, the FBI says Oduntan used several email addresses with stolen credit card numbers to buy Wicked tickets during its run in Louisville in 2023. Then he listed and resold the tickets on StubHub, converting them into cash while the Kentucky Performing Arts Center ate the losses as credit card companies demanded refunds when the fraudulent purchases were discovered. Many of those credit card chargebacks occurred after the show ran, preventing the KPA from reselling the seat. FBI agents connected Oduntan's phone number on his StubHub with the phone number he used to apply for a visa waiver to travel to the U.S., perhaps to spend $350,000 he transferred from his StubHub to PayPal account over 18 months. Investigators say just one of the email addresses connected to Oduntan bought and resold 61 tickets. A co-conspirator bought and resold 77 tickets. Oduntan is in jail awaiting trial in November. He's pleaded not guilty.
Oduntan's New Jersey lawyer did not return a phone call. Kentucky Performing Arts also declined to speak with us, saying the investigation is ongoing. A Butchertown pottery store needs help finding the two men they say vandalized their Gallapalooza horse right outside of the business. Take a look at your screen here. Hadley Pottery posted on their Facebook page saying their beloved Hadley Blue was vandalized in broad daylight. The post shows video of two men as well as photos of the alleged vandalism. The Gallapalooza horses are often outside of businesses to promote tourism around Louisville. It started back in 2003, and so many of us know and love those Gallapalooza horses, especially there at Hadley Pottery. Anyone who recognizes those two people is asked to contact the pottery shop. The start of a new school year usually means thinking ahead to college, especially for those high school students and their parents. Several deadlines for scholarships and financial aid are approaching, but scammers could be looking to take advantage. Jen Sullivan has tips for applying for aid and how to avoid losing money.
The cost of college continues to skyrocket. Some private universities costing students close to $100,000 a year when you combine tuition and other costs. As those costs rise, more students are turning to financial aid. Last fiscal year, the U.S. Department of Education administered about $120 billion worth of federal student aid, including loans and work-study funds. Nearly 10 million students receiving it. There are several different types of financial scholarships and grants you can apply for, and experts warn to stick with legitimate government websites. The site for the free application for federal student aid form, known as FAFSA, ends in a .gov.
Legitimate scholarships will never ask you for an upfront payment.
Melanie Roller is the head of retail bank fraud at Capital One. She says scammers are getting smarter and more advanced. They'll use urgent language like, take action now.
Scammers know that this is a real dynamic, and that's why they are so persistent in trying to take advantage of students and their parents at this very vulnerable moment.
The Department of Education says you'll never be asked for a credit card number when filling out the FAFSA form online. If you are, that's a red flag.
It's very important to never share sensitive information that is in response to an unsolicited call, email, or text message.
If you do think you've been targeted in a scam, you can go to the Better Business Bureau's website. They have a tracking tool to report it and look up other complaints. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
This week, historically Black colleges and universities are being recognized for HBCU Week, and that includes Simmons College right here in Louisville. Simmons is recognized as Louisville's only HBCU. This week's celebration comes amid a recent push to roll back DEI initiatives in colleges across the U.S. Simmons leaders talked about what kind of an impact they're seeing here in Louisville.
We do receive some grants and some federal grant funding, and so we've had to really take a look at the language that we are including in those grant agreements along with everyone else. But I will say, as a private HBCU, we do have the liberty to, celebrate and recognize our students, continue to provide the amenities without the restrictions that some of our private brothers and sisters are experiencing.
Simmons recently received a donation of the Christ the King Parish property from the Archdiocese of Louisville. University leaders say it's an education investment that will serve the West Louisville community. With two major music festivals coming in town starting this week, Park and Tark are offering a special deal to help people, especially with traffic and parking. So for just $15, anyone attending Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life can park at the downtown Park Garage on West Jefferson Street. That $15 includes round-trip Tark service to and from the festival grounds. The buses will run every 15 to 20 minutes each day of the festivals until at least midnight. Officials say this offer will help reduce traffic congestion. Fans can find more information on the service on Tark's website. And just so you know, Bourbon and Beyond begins this Thursday. It runs through Sunday. Then Louder Than Life is set to take over next Thursday, September 18th through the 21st. It's been almost 30 years since Toy Story premiered on the big screen. Can you believe it? So to celebrate the anniversary, the Sauerbeck Family Drive-In is hosting a special screening and a toy drive. It's happening this Friday and Saturday. They're asking for people to bring in a new toy to donate to Dream Factory. That's a local nonprofit that will give those toys to children during their annual Christmas party. The drive-in will also have an area for a toy exchange in the pavilion. Children can bring in a gently used toy to exchange for a different one. Those who bring the toy can get early parking entry as a bonus. The drive-in will be screening Toy Story at 8:15 p.m. both Friday and Saturday nights. So there you go. There are your plans to get out there and also do something great for the community and the kids in need. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some sports headlines right after this. Well, this will be something fun to do in the wintertime. The Harlem Globetrotters have announced they'll return to Louisville for their 100-year anniversary tour in 2026. The team announced that Louisville will be a stop at the KFC Yum Center on January 16th. They'll play their rivals, the Washington Generals. The Globetrotters will debut the new 100-year jerseys honoring a century of global impact. Tickets go on sale on September 22nd at 10 a.m. Now to a story that's been getting a lot of attention online. It happened at Friday's Phillies game. The father gave his son a home run ball when an angry woman confronted him, claiming that ball was hers and demanded that he hand over the ball. Reporter Brian Sheehan spoke with the father and son about that now viral interaction.
Drew Feltwell describing the now viral and highly unusual situation he and his family found themselves in Friday night. It all started when Phillies player Harrison Bader hit a solo home run ball in the fourth inning during the game in Miami against the Marlins.
And I walked down a couple seats and it fell and kind of bobbled between the two armrests. And I picked it up. And as I was pulling away, two other hands came. And I mean, I didn't really care at that point. I just walked away and held the ball up high and put it in Lincoln's glove.
The South Jersey native telling NBC 10 in this exclusive interview that he felt like super dad after he got the ball. He took his family to that particular game, hoping to catch a home run ball for his son Lincoln's birthday this week.
I thought I had accomplished this great thing, and putting in his glove meant a lot.
NBC Sports Philadelphia cameras capturing it all and airing it on live TV. But the heartwarming moment was very short-lived because just as Drew embraces Lincoln, a woman in Phillies gear runs up to them and puts her hand on Drew's arm, startling him.
And then she's like, "That's my ball. You stole it out of those are from our seats." And I said, "There was nobody in that seat." She said, "That's from where we were sitting." And she just went on and on.
The two go back and forth before Drew eventually decides to take the ball out of his son's glove and give it to the woman, who takes it with her to her seat the next section over.
The boos started, and they were very intense. Once it got going, you could feel the depth of how many boos from the stadium.
I wasn't very happy that we had to give it to her, but we can't win. She was gonna get it anyways.
The incident quickly went viral and was the topic of conversation on social media over the weekend.
Every moment around my kids is a potential teaching moment. So I try to keep that mentality, and I guess it shined through.
This dad says despite everything that happened, the night was still a success and ended with an opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to meet Harrison Bader, who gave Lincoln a signed bat.
It was very, very fun getting to meet Bader.
It worked out. We got a signed bat and quite a bit of attention and a lot of funny memes and internet stuff. Pretty crazy.
And it sounds like he got something a little better than that home run ball. Harrison Bader, absolutely a class act there. But the Feltwells say they don't know the woman in the video and they aren't expecting to hear from her. NBC News tried to reach out to her to share her side of the story, but so far, technically, her identity remains a mystery. I know a lot of people out there on the internet have been able to throw out some names, but officially, her name has not been put out there yet. So it'd be interesting to hear from her. And I wonder if she still has that home run ball. That's all the time we have here for Wave Sunrise Extra. Hope you have a great Tuesday.